Hi, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about site-specific hazard assessments or field-level hazard assessments. These two terms are interchangeable, so it's SSHAs or FLHAs. Either way, today we're going to be talking about the individual site-specific hazard assessment or the individual FLHA. Here in Alberta Waste and Recycling, we use two different types of field level hazard assessments. We use the crew or the individual. The forms are very, very similar. So we're going to go over the individual one here. I'm going to be using the one I did today as a reference, so you can see how we fill it out throughout the day. All right, so the first thing you're going to notice on your site-specific hazard assessment or your FLHA is this first section here, which says name, date, location, supervisor, company, and prime contractor. Okay, I'm going to go over each section really quickly here, and if you need to, you can stop and follow along. So the first thing you're going to put is your name, the date that you're working your shift, the location of your shift, okay, the supervisor is Michelle Petrosh, and the prime contractor. If you work in the city of Airdrie outside of the office, you're going to put specifically, sorry, let me rephrase that. If you work for the Airdrie Transfer Station, you're going to put as the prime contractor the City of Airdrie, or COA. If you work in Rocky View County at either any of the mobile sites or the transfer sites or the recycle depot, you are going to put RVC as your prime contractor. Okay? The next section here is going to be the weather section, and the first question it asks is work affected by weather, yes or no? No, the work doesn't get affected by weather. We work in the weather, so no, unfortunately, no. Okay, the next part is circle current condition, and that is the start of your shift. Okay, so this morning it was 4 degrees and overcast where I am, so I put 4 degrees in the temperature section, and I circled the overcast. You don't need to circle the pictograms if you don't want to. I just find it helpful. All right, next is the forecast review. Yes, I know we all check the forecast, so the answer is yes. Okay, the work description is the next section, and depending on where you work is what kind of duties you do. So if you work at RVC, you either work at the transfer station or you work at a recycle depot or chuck wagon. So if you work at the recycle depot, you put recycle depot duties, and if you work at a chuck wagon, you put chuck wagon duties. Here in the office, as you can see on this one, I've wrote office duties. Okay, so the next section there, it asks if the permit is required. The answer is NA. We don't require permits. Okay, so working alone, the answer is always yes. In this section, because we work individually, we are working alone. So in this part here where it asks for your emergency contact, that's your working alone buddy. So my working alone buddy is Liam Quinn, so I write his name. I don't worry about the phone number because we all have each other's phone numbers. Okay, and the check-in frequency is hourly as per the safe job procedures or safe work practices. Okay, the next page is page 2. And what we have here is we have the hazard assessment process. This actually tells you how to write out this section. Okay. This next step here is just pictograms of examples. You don't need to circle any of these. It's just an example section. The bottom section here, as you can see, is a hierarchy of controls. So what that means is when we can't eliminate a hazard, we use one of these to control the hazard, or a combination of all. So the 4 kinds are engineering, which is something that physically stops us from getting to the hazard. Then there's administration, which is things like safe work procedures and safe job practices, which is stuff that we read to stop us from getting to the hazard. The third thing is PPE, which is personal protective equipment. We make sure that we don that correctly in order to stop the hazard from getting to us. The fourth choice is a combination of all 4. So I'm just going to switch over here so you can see what I've written for my office duties. Okay, so as you can see, I've written greet customers, data entry, filing, and cleaning. These are the same 4 things that I put down every single day because these do not change when I'm in the office. Okay, so as you can see in the hazard sections for greet customers, I've got close contact, COVID-19, and harassment. Okay, so as you fill in a task, if you fill in the hazards, then you can fill in the controls, or you can do it this way, either way. But however many tasks you have, you must have that many hazards and that many controls. Okay, so over here in the hazard section for close contact, I have administrative because that is the safe job practices or safe work procedures. Okay, COVID-19, I have all three, a combination of all three, the engineering, the administrative, and the PPE. So there is plexiglass, and then I have my COVID-19 protocols, and I also have my mask and my hand sanitizer, which is part of the administrative controls. Okay, and as you can see, it goes down, and I have the others listed as well. Okay, so that is how you fill out that section. Now at the bottom here, you're going to notice on mine, that I have two initials. So the pre-job is when I first started this morning and I filled this all out, I initial that this is my pre-job. Okay, and I reassessed this morning at 10:30, and as you can see over here in section 5, I have NA because there was no new hazards identified. Now, if there is a new hazard that you need to reassess for, you put it over here and say today at, I don't know, at 9:30 there was high winds. So I can put high winds, the time that it happened, say at 9:30, the new hazard, which would have been high winds, and then I would have had controls here, which would have been administrative controls and PPE, okay, because we don't want dust flying and stuff into our eyes. Okay, so then the only last thing here is the supervisor's name, and you don't have to put anything there if you don't want to. I print Michelle's name in there just to make it a little easier, so she doesn't have to print her own name. Okay, so that is how we fill out the individual FLHA or SSHA. All right, if you have any questions, please call me at the office or on my cell phone, and I'd be happy to answer them with you or go through the FLHA with you. Thanks, and have a great day.